Hey guys, it's Kayla and today I am back to talk to you guys about a YouTuber called McMayo. I think I'm pronouncing that right. McMayo. Mickey Mayo. Okay, I don't know how to pronounce his name. So I was on the internet the other day like every other person in the whole world, and I was checking out YouTube and I see this guy talks about Team 10, right? Okay, so I made a video a couple videos ago talking about how my opinions on Jake Paul and everything, but I've never really watched like a Team 10 video. I don't really know anything about them or who's in it. I just know Alyssa Violet was in it, that's all I know. And this guy started talking about how he's exposing them, so I click on the video, you know, intrigued me. I watch it and he's talking about how he was like, a lot of people I guess go down there to audition or like interview for Team 10. I guess they take more than 10 people. It doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway, so he went down there and he for a while was talking to Nick Crompton, who was a part of the team, who is a part of the Team 10 group. And then all of a sudden I guess he was saying that he would let him on if he gave him like sexual favors and stuff like that. What's crazy to me is like so many people would jump at that chance. If you think about it, like how many guys would be like, oh yeah, totally, you know, because like things people will do to be like on social media fame. What I think was amazing was that this guy literally was like, oh, I would never do that. And it's like, you know what, that's awesome. That's just like really weird that they would ask that, but like I just think that's amazing that he was like, honestly, like I would never do that, and that he's exposing them. He kind of took a risk to a point where like he's probably getting so much hate for doing what he's doing, but like it's probably way better than like what he could have been, like what, rising to the top, as long as he was giving sexual favors to Nick Crompton, I think that's his name. And he just chose not to. He chose to be like, no, that's really weird, like I'm not gonna do that. So apparently like they were like, yeah, you either do this or like you're not gonna come on, you know. And he was saying like how Team 10 doesn't even make any money, which is something Logan Paul also referred to in his diss track to Jake Paul, saying Team 10 doesn't make any money. Apparently like that's like literally what everyone keeps saying, so I'm just gonna assume this is true. He says, Mick, I'm gonna call him Mick. Mick goes on to say that the whole Team 10 is literally just a setup to make Jake Paul more famous than he already is, I guess. Like Jake Paul's like really famous, so like why create this whole team to become like an even more famous person, I guess? I'm just taking everything he said and I'm literally, okay, so do not hate on me. I'm not the one saying these things. I'm taking everything he said and I'm talking through them because it really interests me to think that like this whole household is set up not to make money but to make Jake Paul more famous. Here's the thing that like gets me the most. I don't know Jake Paul. I don't know him at all. I don't even know if this is true. This is something that was said by someone, which I'll link his video down below if you want to watch it. But like this is just something that was said by someone. So I'm gonna say this. He says that Jake Paul called him a faggot. So like that's so crazy to think that if Nick Crompton in his group is gay, why the hell is he calling, you know, this guy a faggot, you know? And like he said that Jake Paul just came off really rude. I don't even know if Nick Crompton is like actually gay. I just know that I saw the DMs this guy was talking about. Looks real to me, but like I don't know. If everything he said was true, then everybody in that house is fake.
I'm gonna repeat this for you guys in the comments, okay, who are gonna come for me.
If what he says is true, then that whole house must be fake. They must be fake people, because they come off on camera as genuinely nice people. So if what he says is true, then there's a lot bigger of a problem than Jake Paul acting like a douchebag. Like there's a much bigger problem going on. He says, so because this is literally like the summary of his video, that Team 10 only allows people in if you can do something for them, preferably like sexual.
He was only interested in signing me to Team 10 if he had certain things I did to make him happy, and obviously that wasn't gonna happen.
And they don't really care that if you have talent or actually deserve to be there.
That's the wrong mentality to have. You sign someone based on talent, not getting what you want out of someone.
Apparently, this is what he said. And then he also goes on to say that Jake Paul is extremely rude.
Jake Paul called me a faggot. If you guys know Team 10 in this industry, you understand that Team 10 are just a bunch of tools. They're not the people they portray themselves to be. They're egotistical, power driven, and it's just awful. I met Jake, wasn't very nice. We didn't even really have a chat. He was just like, kind of, why are you in my house? And I was like, well, been invited in here, so what's the issue? The way they go about things just isn't right, and I think that's the main issue, and it kind of frustrates me. and as you saw from the screenshots there,
in person. And this is just all his encounter, he says. It's obviously not probably something that happens to everybody. This is some pretty hot tea if this is fucking true. People need to like start like looking at this if this is true.
A bad group of people who reflect negative energy.
Now I will say this, he had DMs to prove that they talked, and he had pictures to prove that he had met all these people and that he was in the house. So I have no idea if everything he said happened, or maybe he just didn't get in and he was bitter about it. But the DMs look real to me. I don't know anybody in the Team 10 group. I've never seen their videos. The only person I know of is like the Paul brothers and Alyssa Violet. I just think we should maybe bring attention to this video and like people start questioning things, just because like I just think this is like something people should look at, because it's like if this is such a public figure, you know, we should maybe like question who we're supporting.
A lot of the things you see from behind your phone just aren't the truth, and there's so much about them that you guys really have no idea about.
I wish he had a lot more proof to prove some of the things he said, other than him just giving his word for it.
I met with Nick Crompton my first night in LA. We had dinner. It was really cool. Bear in mind, I'm straight, Nick's gay. Team 10 are just not who they are.
He also goes on to say in the video that everybody in the house is slaves to Jake. He says Jake is super controlling and that everybody just does what he says to do because they're scared of him or something like that.
When I say Jake Paul run house, I mean Jake Paul runs the house. Those guys are slaves. Every single person in our house is a slave to Jake Paul.
Here's the thing, that does line up with what Alyssa said. Alyssa said Jake had a lot of rules and that you'd be fined if you didn't follow some of these rules, and now he's saying like Jake Paul runs the house and those people are slaves to him. I don't know this guy at all, Mick Mayo. I don't know you if you're watching. I just do want to say that you're really brave. If you're not, if like I'm gonna assume you're not lying and that all this is true, I'm gonna assume that, and I'm gonna say you're really brave to come on camera and speak bad about people who are really high up on the internet, knowing like that you're gonna get a lot of hate from it, from their supporters. And I think that's really brave of you to come out and tell your story. Like, some of the stuff he's saying in this video isn't okay. If this actually happened, like somebody needs to talk about this. People need to like throw this video up at the top of the trending list. It also says that these people in Team 10 are tools, they're fake, and they're egotistical, and they're money driven, which I'm gonna say like isn't really surprising. Like, I'm not like assuming it's true. I mean, I'm just saying like that kind of sounds like a lot of people on the internet. Like, there's a lot of people that are egotistical and money driven on the internet, so it's like that's not rare to find.
He was really treating me well, but it led to me thinking like, why is he actually doing this for me? Like, does he plan on putting me in Team 10, or is it really just a way to trying to sweeten himself up to me to get what he wanted at the end of the day?
It's sad to think like he didn't understand if he was being considered for Team 10 or if he was just being treated by Nick nicely because does he just want sex from me. It's sad because it's like the generation we're in. I mean, it's really true. Honestly, go watch this video and listen to what he has to say on his side of the story. What is so insane to me is that if this is actually true, then these people are really good actors because they just seem really genuine online and they seem super happy and smiley online. So it's really hard for me to think like in person these people are like egotistical people. I mean, I guess it's not rare, you know, people portraying themselves on the internet one way, being in real life a different way, but this is something to really think about.
The whole point of Team 10 is to make Jake Paul more famous. It's got nothing to do with influencing people. It's about making Jake Paul more money. And to be honest with you, Team 10 aren't really making that much money. It looks a lot better than it is.
Right now, this is just one man's word, and it's not like we can take it to heart or like be like, okay, this is 100% true.
Jake Paul does those meet and greets and stuff, but to be honest, those meet and greets are only for money. He did a Ray-Ban meetup, and that was all part of money, and it had nothing to do with actually giving love back to the fans.
To conclude this video, okay, I want you to comment down below if you think that what he's saying is true. If you believe him, if you don't believe him, I want to know, because honestly, I think this guy seems genuine to me. He comes off really sincere, so it's really hard for me to say that I don't believe him. It's just that there's a lot of people on the internet who tell stories and then find out later that they're not true, and I totally believed them before, so it's really hard for me to just be like, oh yeah, this guy's telling the truth. I want you to tell me your opinion for yourself. I don't want you to take my opinion and be like, Michaela thinks it might be true, he seems really genuine, maybe that's what it is. I want you to be like, this is what I think. I don't want anybody to send hate to this guy or send hate to anybody. I don't want to, like, I'm not sending hate. I really just want to know what you think is going on here. It's like finding out like the most popular person on the internet isn't who they say they are, and you're just kind of like, I didn't see that coming. They have so many little kids that watch them, and if this is true, then they just shouldn't be role models. People crushing their dreams. I'm in the middle. I don't know if I believe him, but the way he talks about it, it seems so true. Like, he made it sound like, you know, they're not bad guys, but they're not good either, if this is true. Other than that, I hope you guys like this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.